Good afternoon again, everyone. We're going to begin now. Some persons are having challenges with their internet and so on, but we're going to move on. So some persons might be in and out. Latonia and Roshane, I don't know if you're hearing me because I don't see your microphone. So you need to click on the microphone and click dial in because you won't hear anything. All right, guys. So welcome to another class. How is everything going?
Not bad, not bad.
Okay. When I say not bad, what you mean? I can give some little one answer. Alandre,
Yes, miss.
not bad. When I say not bad, what you mean?
Go for it, miss, but try to fall out.
Okay.
Undo them.
All right, good. Yeah, we have to do that. No, it might be a lot. No, it's even a lot for us as teachers. Trust me. It is traumatizing, but we have to do what we have to do. I'm still in the process of marking. Some persons you might have gotten your results, some haven't got their results yet. But what I noticed is that a lot of persons did the work, even those persons excuse me, even those persons who don't attend classes. So it's like a lot. And we know that the work was a lot already. So some persons you have gotten your grades already, others might have not gotten your grades, but I'm still marking. So you'll get your grades. All right, don't worry about it, but it's a lot. So I'm taking my time going through them. All right. I'm sure you would have seen my message I sent in the group that tomorrow they'll be distributing some care. It's not tomorrow, Wednesday. They'll be distributing care packages, and these are for those persons who did not receive the last time. All right. So if the last 2 times packages were handed out, you did not get them, you're on pass. You meet the criteria. So you must be registered with pass. Packages are for students and parents who are currently associated with Old Harbor High School. So it cannot be a stranger. So you can't just tell a neighbor and then they show. The person must be on pass, and the parent or guardian must have lost his or her job due to COVID-19. All right, so it must be that the person, the parent is not working right now, and you're on pass, you're a member of the Old High School family. So those will be handed out on Wednesday for those persons who have not yet received. Alrighty. So today we are starting a new topic. Welcome to those who I have not seen since we have started classes. Well, I've seen Roshane once or twice, I think. Don't remember. Shani, I don't normally see you. Welcome. Um, Other persons are regular comers. Jessica seems to be trying to join. I haven't seen Jessica for the longest while. So welcome to everybody. I sent the link for the YouTube channel. So what I did was that all the classes that we have had so far, all the topics that we have covered, I just upload this video of the class to YouTube. So guys who have missed classes and so on, you can check out the link and watch the videos. If you notice how I label the videos, please, they can't just go and watch anyone, just you have to follow it. So for example, computer security. There were about 3 classes of that, so you notice the computer security 1, computer security 2, computer security 3. And you have to look at the number. And as well as I told you in the group that there are grade 11 students, there are grade 11 videos there. So those ones, I make sure I start them by say grade 11. So you can just ignore those ones. All right, so we're starting Microsoft Access today, database management. We're going to do something a little bit different just to introduce the lesson. So what we're going to do, what do you still hearing me? Guys, if your background is noisy, mute your microphone. Alright, so everybody still hearing me?
Yes, miss.
Okay. So we're going to do something a little bit different. The topic is a new topic. We're starting a new topic. So we're finished with Microsoft Excel and the other topics that we have been looking at. As I said before, for those who joined late, there is a YouTube channel. All of the classes that we've had since March, they are posted there. So you can go follow the order and watch them. So we're starting database management software. And we're specifically focusing on Microsoft Access. Now, what we're going to be doing, we're going to watch a video, and then from the video, you're going to answer these questions, and then we'll have a discussion. All right, guys. So what I want for you to do is to take a screenshot of the questions or write them down. I'll give you 5 minutes because I'm going to have to share the video. So you have to take down these so I can share the video. Then you're going to watch the video and answer these questions. Guys, the video I was trying to get a video that was not so funny in the talking, in the accent of the person, but I could not find one. So please, I know you like to laugh, although your microphones will mute, so I'm not going to see or hear that you're laughing. But guys, just watch the video, listen attentively because the accent is kind of off or weird, you might see. But just listen and answer these questions. Everybody screenshot this already or write them down or what you're doing. They're going to watch, listen, and answer the following
Right
questions.
then, miss.
Okay. Watch, listen, and answer the following questions. The first one is, what is a database? Two, how is data stored or organized in a database? Three, what is a table? You're also going to look out for and be able to provide at least one important point about the following: forms, reports, queries, record, field, data type. So you look out for these words as well. Then next question I'm going to answer, provide 2 examples of data types. What is another name for record? What is another name for field? So guys, you have to be very quick because remember it's a video, all right? I will probably try to pause it at intervals. So, all right, hurry up, Jessica. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Miss, me finish.
All right. So I can show the video now, guys. Everybody, screenshots are right already.
Yes, miss.
Okay. Video. As I said, remember, the accent is kind of funny. Just watch the thing and vote for the question. And it actually 12 minutes. They're kind of long, but it has all the answers and all the things that we need together. So just pay attention, please. I know it's hard. Our attention span is very low, but just pay attention. You're hearing? You hear the video?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Miss, loud and clear.
Okay, okay.
Chapter 1 Introduction to MS Access 2007 Learning Plan. What is a database? What is a table? What is data? Getting started. Parts of Access screen. Creating a table. Viewing and adding data to a table. Mighty, is there any program where we can store different types of records, such as students, books, fees?
Alright, so I pause it a little so you might can read it in case you never hear based on the accent.
Yes, dear. MS Access is such a program where you can store data in different tables in one file. This file is called a DBMS. Microsoft Access is a database software package. A database is an organized collection of records. Telephone and address books are examples of paper databases. With Access, you can create a computerized database. For example, you can use Access to organize the students who attend a school, the courses they take, and the instructors who teach them.
Let's pause it so you can get in the definition. Tell me if I'm going too fast. Can I play back now? Hello?
Yes, miss.
Yes, miss.
Yes, sir.
What is a database? A database is defined as an organized collection of data, information on people or things. In raw form, a sheet of paper divided into columns and rows or a table in Microsoft Word or Excel is considered a simple database. Simple table databases are very limited in their uses and would not be considered as a business solution. In Access, information is stored in tables. The information can be seen in tables or through forms and reports. A database will be able to store data in a structured manner across multiple tables, use queries to locate specific information according to given criteria, produce detailed on-screen or printed reports, perform calculations, and much more. An example of a multi-table database is a database of classes, which might consist of tables showing information on several of these classes, instructors, students, and rooms.
All right, so here you find the definition of a database in more details than the one before. You also find answer to the question about how data is stored in a database or organized. You also see some of the terms I told you to look out for: forms, reports, queries. So I'll give you some time to go through this. Guys, while you're going through that, Labor Day holiday is coming up. I don't remember from when we normally get holidays, so maybe it's going to be from Wednesday, I'm not sure. So if it's from Wednesday, then we won't have class, but I'll inform you. Can I move on?
Yes, miss.
All right.
Yes, miss.
Classes, instructors, students, and rooms. What is a table? Tables are used to store data in a structured and organized format. As previously mentioned, tables are similar to those of Word and Excel in that they contain rows, records, and columns.
So we're seeing here what the definition for a table. We're seeing what a table is made up of. We're seeing some of the terms I told you to look out for: columns, rows. What's another word for row? What's another word for column? I think that's a question to be answered as well.
Fields. What is a record or row? A record applies to data entered into a single row of a table. All data in that row would belong to an individual or item. A record would normally include a unique ID number, name, description, plus other relevant information. With each new record, a new row is created. For example, the figure above has all the information on Sam in the row beginning with 1. What is a field column?
Alright, so do I need to go back to the row? Or you got what a row was? Do I go back a little?
Yes, Miss.
To define what specific information is to the field. A field beginning with 1.
Right, so this is a row.
What is a field column? Each column or field is used to define what specific information is to be entered into that particular column or field. A column titled class, for example, would signify this to be the place in a record to enter the class name when creating each new record. For example, the figure above has an email address for each row in the column headed street address. What is data? Data is the information entered into tables within the database. Databases are used in businesses and in education, often without people realizing they are using a database. Something as simple as entering contact details into the contact or address book section of an email client involves entering data into a database. Data entered will generally be alphabetical, names, addresses, or numerical dates, currency. However, Access is also able to store other forms of data, such as links to websites, documents created in other programs, such as files and images. Data can be entered into the database manually via the keyboard, imported from or linked to external sources, or even collected through email or an internet form. Data types. Data types define what type of data will be entered into each field column in a table. If you create a table by typing in the data and new fields, Access will determine the data type for you based on what you type. If you type a name, it sets the type for that field to text. If you type a date, either as 12/9/2010 or December 9, 2010, it will set the type to date and time. If you type a digit or digits, it will set the type to number. If you also type a $sign, as in $49.95, or a specific number of decimal places like 5.00, then this will also be included as a numeric field. Although you can enter data without setting up the fields first, you should create the table and specify the data types for each field before entering data. You should also set defaults, limits, and use input masks as needed.
Alright, so guys, did you get what a data type is?
Yes, miss.
Alright, so now it's moving on. It's showing us the various data types and their uses. Yeah. So these are all the data types in database and how they are used.
Data type, use. Text. Alphanumeric data, used for text and for numbers that are not used in mathematical calculations. Used for names, addresses, and other relatively short pieces of text. Can store up to 255 characters. Memo. Long text, used for long pieces of text such as notes and long descriptions, can store up to 64,000 characters. Number, numeric data, used for numbers you want to use in mathematical calculations. Date and time, used for dates and time. Currency, used for currency. Auto number, unique sequential number or random numbers automatically inserted when you create a record, used to create a primary key. Yes, no. Logical data, used when only one of two values is valid, yes or no, true or false, etc. Hyperlink, used to store hyperlinks. Attachment, used to store attachments. OLE object, used to attach an OLE object such as a Word document, Excel.
Right, so I'll give you some time because I think in the questions you're supposed to state two data types and provide an example. So I'll give you 2 minutes to do that question. All right. To keep your microphones on mute.
Spreadsheet or PowerPoint presentation. Getting started. Open the Start.
All right, so we'll come back to this part of the video, getting started, how we use Microsoft Access. All right, so let's go back to our questions. And please, guys, I need your full participation in answering the questions. Well, I may have to call names. Please to volunteer yourselves. There are 11 of us, 12 including me. First question, what is a database? You must unmute your microphone to speak.
A database is an organized collection of records.
Right, good. That's Tiara. Everybody agrees with Tiara? Organized collection of records. Hello? Guys, you must answer.
Yes,
Only
Miss.
way I know you're listening. All right, so when we say organized though, where do we say it's organized? What is it about database, specifically why we say it's an organized collection of records? What makes it organized?
Miss, like you have to put them together or something.
Right, so yes, they're together and we have 10 minutes, which means we're going to have to send another link to continue up to 5. Yes, put it together, but putting it together in what way? How is it normally put together? There was a part of the video that spoke about how it's put together. For example, they gave an example with a school and they have class, the students, classes that they're in, their names, addresses, parents' names, and so on. How would that be put together?
In records?
What did you say, Alandre?
In records, Miss?
Yes, we put the records together, but in what way? How do you put them in together to make them organized so that you can access them easily?
Alphabetically?
Alphabetically or numerically, all right? So we put them in some form of order. So a database is generally organized to allow for easy access of files and records. So basically, back in the days, normally, and people are still doing it now, for database, for schools in particular, if the schools have database, it would normally be a manual database where they have your names, all the information about you on a registration form in file jackets, and then they organize them alphabetically. They might have one drawer for A, one for B, one for C, all the way down to Z. So that would have been a manual way of organizing data. But database through various software such as Microsoft Access, which is the one that we're going to be using, is is a technological way, an electronic way of organizing records. All right. So instead of us using this whole heap of drawers and having this whole lot of paper, we use electronic database. Now we're practicing more use of electronic database as technology advances. So everybody understand what a database is used for? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Okay. All right. So next question now. Number 2, how is data stored or organized in a database? This question is a one-word answer.
Tables.
Who is that?
Call.
All right. Everybody agrees with Alandre. He said tables.
Yes, miss.
Okay. So he is correct. Data is stored or organized in tables, which takes us to number 3. What is a table? Come on, no man, guys.
These tables are used to store data.
Wait, Alandre, somebody else. I'm sure I paused the video, even on the definitions and so on. I was expecting you to write, at least write down something. Candice, Patrine, Roshane, Shanae, there are so many of you. Why only 2 persons talking? Jessica, what is a table? Candice, what is a table?
Miss, a table contains rows and columns. Rows which are records and columns which are fields.
All right, so Candice also answered number 5 and number 6, but we're still going to go through it again. So a table consists of rows and columns, and what do we store in the table?
Data.
Information.
The data or the information, or we could say we store the records, right? Basically, we store in the records. All right, so these were words mentioned: forms, reports, queries, record, field, data types. So I want anybody to just choose any of them and say what you gathered about any of them. There wasn't much about forms and reports, but there was something mentioned about queries in details. Record was mentioned in details. Fields was recorded in details, and data types. So I'll go through forms, reports, and queries, but you can go through the other three because those are mentioned in details. Come on, man. What is a record?
It is data stored in a row.
Data stored in a row. Simple as that. What is a field?
Data stored in a column.
Simple as that. But the field is more than just the data stored in a column. Yes, it is the data stored in a column, but what is significant about the field? Think about it. If the record is the row and the field is the column, what do you normally have at the top of the column?
Heading.
A heading. Very good. So say we have a database and it's a database for a school, right? And I'm sticking to a school database because all of us go to school. We know what that would entail. So what are some of the things that would be in this database, a school database? What do you think would be in it about the students?
Like the grade,
Great. But
name,
first thing though, first thing first, what you know must be their name,
ID number,
ID number,
their school
Their
records,
school record as in from the past school that they're coming from, maybe. All right.
our previous classes.
Previous classes, address, parents, name, average, and stuff like that, right? In this
Yes, miss.
now, we have in this database Alandre Cole, Candice Robinson, Jessica Harrison, Kevoy Clark, Macy Gray, Roshane Ricketts, Tevon, Tom Sutiara, Simpson, Shanae Steele. We have all of those names. All of in the database, we have their names. For all these names I just mentioned, we have the names, address, classes they were in, average, and all of what we said. I want for you to tell me now, picture that database. What would be the record and what would be the field? Tell me one record that would be in that database.
miss your name,
Tell me the record. Whose name? What's the name? Tell me one of the names. Roshane, you could have just tell me your name in. Cause all I know name me call. So Roshane Ricketts would be one record. Macy Gray would be one record. Jessica Harris, one record. Alandre Cole, sorry, one record. You following what I'm saying?
yes, miss.
All right. Tell me one field now. One field.
Name,
Name is a
parents' name,
field. Parents' name would be a field. Grade would be a field. Tell me one more.
date of birth,
Date of birth. So we get in the gist, right? All right. So
Yes.
this is saying less than a minute, so it's going to cut off. So I'm going to end this now and send the link so we can finish up answering the questions. All right. So guys, when I send the link, just click it quickly, please, so we can move on as quick as possible. All right.